In the light of the moon, resting on a leaf in a quiet garden, lay a tiny, round egg. The world around it was still. The stars twinkled above, and the wind whispered softly through the grass. For days, the egg stayed there safe, quiet, waiting. Then, on one bright Sunday morning, as the warm sun rose in the sky, the egg began to tremble. It wiggled, rocked slightly, and pop. Out came a very tiny caterpillar. He was no bigger than a fingertip and covered in soft, fuzzy bristles. His body was green with pale yellow stripes, and he had 6 short legs in the front and many smaller legs along the rest of his body. His black eyes blinked at the bright world around him, and his stomach growled. The little caterpillar was very, very hungry. He didn't know where he was or where he came from, but he knew he needed to eat. The sun warmed his back as he crawled over the leaf and onto the ground, sniffing the air with his tiny antennae. There was so much to discover: tall blades of grass, colorful flowers swaying in the breeze, buzzing bees and fluttering butterflies, and best of all, delicious smells. On Monday, he found a shiny red apple resting in the grass. Its skin gleamed with dew, and it smelled sweet and ripe. He took one bite, then another, until he had eaten a hole right through it. But the apple, although tasty, was not enough. He was still hungry. On Tuesday, he came across 2 green pears hanging from a low branch. They were plump and juicy. He climbed up and took one bite from each. They were crisp and sweet, but still his belly rumbled. On Wednesday, he stumbled upon 3 purple plums. They had fallen from a tree and lay nestled between leaves. He munched through them happily, savoring the tart flavor. He was full temporarily, but it didn't last long. On Thursday, he discovered 4 red strawberries nestled in the garden under wide leaves. They were ripe and juicy, with tiny seeds on their surface. He devoured them one by one. He said with satisfaction. But he was still not full. On Friday, he found 5 round, juicy oranges. He pushed one with his head until it rolled over, then took a big bite. Then another, then another. After all 5 oranges were gone, he felt rounder, but the hunger in his belly still hadn't gone away. By Saturday, the little caterpillar was desperate. His eyes grew wide when he came upon a picnic left behind by some humans. All kinds of foods were scattered across a blanket. Without a second thought, he dug in. He ate through 1 slice of chocolate cake, then 1 ice cream cone, cold and melting on his tongue, then a salty green pickle, followed by a sharp piece of Swiss cheese. Taste buds danced. But he wasn't finished. He gobbled 1 slice of salami, licked 1 swirled lollipop, nibbled 1 piece of cherry pie, devoured 1 fat sausage, then a soft cupcake with pink frosting, and finally 1 slice of juicy watermelon. By the end of it all, the caterpillar lay on his back in the grass. His belly was round and heavy. His face looked a bit green. "Oh," he groaned, "what have I done?" That night, the caterpillar curled up under a large leaf and tried to sleep. But he had a terrible stomachache. His tummy bubbled and gurgled. He turned this way and that, but nothing helped. Eventually, he closed his eyes and dozed off under the stars. When Sunday morning arrived, the caterpillar woke up, still feeling a little dizzy. But the sunlight warmed him, and the wind brought a new smell, fresh and green. He crawled toward a leafy plant and took a bite of a single green leaf. It was soft, clean, and just the right flavor. His tummy settled. His mind cleared. He gave a happy sigh. That day, the caterpillar didn't eat anything else. He rested in the shade and let his body relax. The sun moved slowly across the sky, and the breeze swirled gently around him. As the day passed, he noticed something strange. His body felt heavier, but not with food. He was growing. He looked down and gasped. He wasn't the tiny caterpillar who had hatched from an egg a week ago. He was now a big, fat caterpillar. His body had lengthened and widened. His colors were brighter. he felt stronger, but also very tired. A strange feeling came over him, a tug deep inside. It told him it was time. Time for something he couldn't quite understand. So the caterpillar searched for a quiet place. He crawled up the side of a tree and settled on a thick branch, safe from wind and predators. Then, with skill he didn't know he had, he began to spin a cocoon, also called a chrysalis, around himself. He spun and spun, silk thread from his body wrapping tightly around him. When he was finished, he was sealed away in a warm, dark chamber where no light entered and no sound reached him. Inside the chrysalis, he was still. His body began to change in miraculous ways. Slowly, his caterpillar body dissolved, his cells rearranged. Wings began to form. A long tongue replaced his tiny, chewing mouth. He no longer had the legs of a caterpillar, but something better. He didn't know how long he was inside. The days passed without notice. Outside, birds flew by and the wind whistled through the trees. Rain fell and then sunshine returned. Then one morning, the chrysalis began to tremble. Cracks appeared on its surface. From inside, something pushed. First came a foot, then an antenna. Then, with a final twist and stretch, the shell split open, and the new creature emerged. He was no longer a caterpillar. He was a butterfly. His wings were still wet and crumpled, folded tight against his body. He rested for a while on the branch, letting the wind and sun dry and strengthen them. Then, slowly, he opened them. The wings were large and stunning. They shimmered in the sunlight, painted in patterns of red, yellow, orange, and blue, with tiny black spots near the edges. Each one moved gently as he tested his strength. Then he flapped harder. Once, twice, he lifted from the branch. He was flying. He soared over the meadow, gliding between sunflowers and clover, rising above the trees and dipping low over the grass. The world was new again only now. It was brighter, wider, and filled with wonder. He sipped nectar from flowers with his new proboscis, curled up under petals to nap in the shade, and joined other butterflies in a gentle dance over the fields. And as he flew, he remembered. He remembered being small. He remembered the apple and the pears, the plums and the strawberries. He remembered the wild day of feasting and the comfort of a single green leaf. He remembered his time in the cocoon, the change, the stillness, the wait. And he knew he had become something new. Weeks later, he found a quiet patch of garden where a large green leaf rested in the sunlight. He fluttered down, gently landed, and laid a single egg on its surface. And so, the cycle began again. That night, the moon rose over the garden. The stars twinkled above, and on the leaf, the tiny egg rested. Inside, a new life stirred. Subscribe for more videos and press the bell icon to get new updates. Also like the video and share to your friends.